Welcome to Baker Dave Presents. We're here today in the kitchens of Johnson and Hardwick Hall. It's a working kitchen. There might be some noises, there might be some people coming by. I have a very special guest today, a friend of mine actually, Gary Kiebach III, bringing his famous recipe for French toast, coming right up. Gary, thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, no problem.
Gary Kiebach III.
The third.
So there's two other
Yep,
Garys?
my dad and my grandfather.
That's
Yeah.
pretty exciting.
It is pretty exciting.
Let's see if we can get this show going a little bit quicker than this right now. What are we making today?
So we're making a little bit of French toast.
Why French toast? Are you French?
Yeah, actually a little bit.
How little?
About like 1/16. My dad just did our ancestry thing, so got a little bit
Did
of.
you do the DNA
yeah,
thing?
No, I didn't do the DNA. He went back through all
So
like the
who
death
knows?
certificates.
You know, like when the
yeah.
guy's on there and he's got the leader hose in or something, and he switches over to the other things. He finds
Yeah,
out
exactly.
you know?
Those commercials.
Yeah, you might be.
I
You
gotta
might
do
not
that.
even be French at all.
No, I'm definitely French. I feel it. I feel it.
1/16, and you're that
Yeah.
serious.
I mean, I
about-
speak French
you're
also, so it's
Okay.
it's a big part of me.
He's definitely French,
If I'm not, at least I speak it, right?
for whatever that's worth.
Right, exactly.
So, anyways, Gary here, you went to school here, right?
I did, yep. 4 years at, the Klein School of Media Communications with an advertising degree, research, and a minor in French, actually.
So you
So,
do
yeah.
speak French.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
makes you French then.
Yep.
Are you a snob too? Do you?
No, not a
I'm
snob.
not the French people. French people are so nice. Nicest people I've ever met. I just got to make sure, disclaimer there, just in case anyone gets offended. But, you know.
Yeah. I actually just took a recent trip to France right after I graduated.
Oh, how was that?
It was like the best
Visiting the
experience.
motherland.
The motherland, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was the best experience of my life.
Really?
Yeah. I'm so glad I went.
What did you learn there?
A lot of French, actually.
I thought you took French.
Yeah, but you don't learn it all. You got to learn it in the country too.
It's different there?
The shopkeepers are a little hard to understand because they speak a little bit quicker, than like what you're used to learning in class.
You didn't just go to Walmart when you were there, like everybody?
They don't have Walmart. I did go to
Are you
McDonald's
serious?
though.
They don't have Walmart there?
They have McDonald's.
I thought they had Walmart everywhere.
They didn't where I went,
Okay.
but they did have McDonald's, so I did go there. But
So we haven't completely corrupted them yet.
not yet, no.
Nice.
Nice, yeah.
How was the food?
It was really good. It was really
Favorite
good.
thing that you ate was French toast?
Yeah. Actually, the funny story is where French toast comes from the word du pain perdu, which means the lost bread.
Okay.
So basically, in France, they buy a baguette of bread every day. Like every morning, my friend would go to the bakery and pick up a baguette and come home and eat it for lunch. And so whatever was
They don't
left.
have the low-carb diets there, do
No, it's a lot of bread.
Okay.
Bread. And whatever was left over, you'd make into the lost bread or the stale bread, du pain perdu. So that's where the French toast comes
Okay.
from. Yeah.
they? Interesting.
So yeah. Also, crepes were great.
Crepes?
Crepes,
You
yeah.
just had to slide that in there?
Yeah. Well, it was
How
really
about
good.
the Lost Crepe? That sounds like a movie, doesn't it?
I don't want a stale crepe.
Oh, okay, probably
Yeah.
not. So I thought for fun I would get brioche
Brioche.
for our lost bread.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't buy a brioche every day, probably.
No. It was just baguettes.
But first thing before we make it, because French toast is actually super simple.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's people out there that have trouble making French toast. We're going to break it down. It's going to be really easy. You can't screw this up. However, I'm not a big fan of always putting syrup on stuff. I love syrup, but not always. And it seems like if we're in France, they probably don't put maple syrup on everything, do they?
No, a lot of fruit.
You know what? In French, do they just call it toast?
No.
No?
They call it du pain perdu.
That's right. My bad. So anyways, I had to get that in there because, it might be my one chance to talk to someone that's been to France and ate French toast.
Yeah, not with brioche though. It's actually baguette. It's
That
little
seems
little
tough.
pieces.
It seems tough to me. But we're going to start off by making a fruit, like a compote.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to actually just take fresh fruit. We have berries here. We're going to go ahead and cut some strawberries up. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, sure.
How do you feel about strawberry cutting duties?
I can cut some strawberries.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You can kind of quarter it up there or whatever.
Quarter it. All right.
You probably, I don't want to eat the green. I don't know if you do or not.
No.
Okay, so you can cut the green off. That'll be pretty exciting.
I do things that are very difficult. They're
The
difficult.
hardest way
Yeah, the
possible?
hardest way possible. Yeah.
So anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to actually just add sugar directly to it. What the sugar's going to do, especially for the cut strawberries, it's going to pull the sweetness out of the berries and pull the liquid out of it. And the whole thing will be kind of soupy, which will be awesome because it'll kind of make its own syrup.
Yeah, that's what.
And then we'll have the berries with the syrup, so it'll be a little more fresh tasting than just straight syrup.
Sorry, I don't cut fruit very often.
I see that.
I put
You're doing a
syrup
great
all
job.
over my French toast when I make it at home. So.
That's because you're only 1/16 French.
Yep.
If you were more
Yep.
French, you would use.
And I only
something
put
else.
1/16 of a strawberry on it, so that's where I go.
So
All right. Do you want?
let me cut a few here
All
because
right.
it's only a half-hour show, you know.
Oh right. Sorry. You're
So-
up. This is yeah.
What else? What's your future plans? Like, where are you going with this, man? All this marketing and your degree here at Temple.
Well, I work for Aramark right now.
Okay.
I do mainly meal plans. I talk to new students and new parents coming into Temple, basically tell them where to eat, how things work, how the meal plans work. As a previous Temple student, I love doing that because I get to be, in front of the parents, and the parents like talking to me because I was a student. I'm not just somebody trying to give them a meal plan,
Right, that makes sense.
So, I love it here. I love it at Temple. I think it's a great community and a great environment.
It is a fantastic community. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
I love being at Temple.
So you're gonna be 20 years from now. You'll still be here.
I mean, we'll see. That's where my plan is right now.
Really? That's what I was
yeah.
gonna ask. Where are you gonna be 10 years from now?
Yeah,
20 years from now?
well, I'm living in Oaks right now, but I'm looking at buying a house in the city. So
Okay.
that's gonna be probably move around Fishtown area. So that's where I'll be. Just all the sugar, real healthy.
Super healthy. The beautiful thing about it is that you can kind of just use however much you want to use and just toss it around, like I said.
Okay.
If you use too much sugar, it'll usually clump at the bottom, so you won't actually even be getting it. But it'll just kind of coat your berries, which that's
Okay.
the goal. And then, as you can see, in the next 10 minutes or so, while we're doing this, hopefully it'll start pulling the moisture out of it and making a syrup. We'll see.
All right.
So the next big thing is our brioche here. We've got. What's that? Just
It is quite.
Huh?
It is quite a big thing. Yeah.
It's a lot of
Yeah,
bread.
it's a lot of bread. I can cut it if you want.
Are you capable?
I'm capable of cutting
Look at
bread.
that. He's a bread
Yes.
cutter.
Yep.
So
I actually
so look
invented
at that.
sliced bread, so.
He invented sliced bread.
Yes.
Well, that's the best thing since itself.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right, how many do we want? We want the whole.
I don't know. I mean, how hungry are you?
Didn't eat lunch yet, so I am excited to
So you're
eat some of
hungry.
this. I'm very hungry. I'll eat like this. Okay, 5?
Holy cow! For real?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say like. I kind of remember as a kid always eating like 4 or 5 slices, but I don't. I can't
Well, these
do it
are
anymore.
big slices. This is like diner bread, Like when you go to a diner and you get French toast,
You get big
you get
diner bread.
nice big French toast.
That's good. And you didn't cut yourself. That's
Didn't.
always a
I'm
plus.
good. I'm good.
So our next big thing is you're gonna want to add
Eggs.
and milk. I like using whole milk. I think that's like a key thing because otherwise, like a lot of times you have your skim milk because you're trying to be healthy or whatever, but you might as well just add water to it, seriously. Like you want the fat from the milk, you want the flavor from the milk, and your ratios, you're really making a custard. Like that's where I think a lot of people mess up is they think that they're dipping their bread in egg with a little bit of milk. You're really dipping your bread in milk with a little bit of egg. So the idea really is, I have no.
You got 'em?
You got a whisk here.
Oh no, I'm gonna take the egg off my hand.
Oh, you probably do want to do that.
Yeah.
You really want to make more of a custard, which French are known for, so it works out perfectly.
Yeah.
They have creme brulee.
No fire involved here. Just under the pan.
Right, not burning the top of it. But custards, they're very big on
I
custards.
usually put the vanilla in, and then.
It's your world, dude.
Yeah.
I'm seriously just visiting.
So I'm
we got
gonna
some
I'm gonna add a little bit of vanilla too. Add a little bit of flavor there.
Right.
Sweeten it up a little bit. And some cinnamon.
Cinnamon, do they use cinnamon on their French toast?
No, not normally.
That's a
But-
good question to ask because we always do that here, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I brought this too, there's a little bit of orange zest.
Orange zest.
Flavor it? You think that that's
We
a
could try it.
mistake?
We could try it. I've never done it.
I feel like that's what they
We'll
would
just
do
put
there.
a little bit, just a little bit. Oh man,
bit?
just a little bit. Now at home I usually just use a fork.
Well, because you're only 1/16 French.
Yeah.
Here we use what's the French word for whisk?
I don't know.
Whisk? Seems like it's already like
Soon
a lot
whisk.
yeah, a lot of culinary terms are already French, so I don't know. He's doing a great job there. You're really mixing that stuff up good. Another key thing is you want to soak your bread a little bit. Like a lot of people dip it really quick and take it out. It's because they have too much egg in it and they don't want egg bread. Who wants egg bread? But if you give it a good enough soak, and then maybe not cook it as high, and you'll actually be able to fully cook it, and have a custard all the way through. You're really kind of making individual slices of bread pudding. If you think of it that way, instead of thinking of it as breakfast French toast, that's the beauty of this. For me, this is dessert. It doesn't have to be something you have for breakfast. A lot of people eat French toast for breakfast. For me, it's dessert because I think of it more of a bread pudding.
Yeah.
Which you would eat for dessert, but you wouldn't eat for breakfast. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I eat bread pudding for breakfast. I love bread pudding.
Okay. Some people eat bread pudding all day long. I'm just saying.
Not for lunch, though. Just breakfast and dinner, you see.
You skip. You won't. Anyways.
All right, so.
And I use real butter because I figured if we were in France, we'd use real butter, right? You wouldn't use.
Le beurre.
What?
Beurre. It's the word for water. Butter.
For water?
Butter.
For butter.
Yeah.
It just sounds so pretentious.
Sorry.
It's not your fault.
It's tasty, though.
So butter is super important because you want the fat and swimming in it. Don't be afraid to put, like, seriously, I hate when people put like a spray on it or they put a little butter. You're literally flavoring it with this butter. That's where you're going to get your color from when it caramelizes. That's where you're going to get your flavor from. You don't, if you make French toast properly, you should not have to spread butter on it afterwards because you're not going to get, it doesn't soak in anyways. You know, like pancakes, and actually the butter will soak into it. It doesn't really do that with French toast. So you really want the butter in the part of the bread when you're doing it. The other key thing to remember, and I just thought about this now, because sometimes if you use a real sweet bread, and this actually has some sugar in it, it's more of a sweet bread, so it adds a little bit of flavor. But sometimes people use even like, I've seen banana bread used, I've seen like almost anything at this point. However, more of those sweeter breads, they will burn because they're in direct contact with the heat source. So if you do that, you either cook it way lower and way slower so that you can cook it thoroughly without burning the thing, or you cook it on the stovetop and then you stick it in the oven for a few minutes just to finish off the inside so it fully gets cooked. Otherwise, you will burn it. You're good, dude. I don't know why you're playing with it.
Yeah.
So this bread's great because it really soaks in a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of hard to even hold it.
Some of the best is like Texas toast, or actually that baguette, because it's really thick, and if it's stale, it'll hold it a little better. So we got this.
You hear that sizzle? You don't get that with spray. Like seriously, you only get that sizzle when you've got like 3 pats of butter in there. We're not here to lose weight. We're not here to, you know what I mean?
You're Baker Dave. No.
I'm Baker Dave. I'm not Yoga Dave or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Baker Dave doing yoga would be pretty interesting, though.
I actually do that sometimes.
Oh, okay.
It's not that bad. Whole other story. So, again, it's just sizzling away. Not a big deal. I need a plate to put stuff while you're cooking this.
All right.
How about family and stuff, man? Like, what's your actual plans for the rest of your life? Like, seriously, your life can't just be marketing forever and ever.
No. Like I said, I'm probably gonna move back from Oaks to Philly.
I don't even know where Oaks is. I'm not gonna lie.
Like right by the King of Prussia Mall, kind of, Norristown.
Totally
The Dump.
know where that
If you
is
heard of
now.
the Dump, you know that's literally in my town.
Awesome.
Gonna move back here.
Have some kids.
Have some kids. You know, get married.
Nice. Your whole life is planned out for you.
I got a plan. It's in a book. You know.
Do you really?
No, I don't.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Come
I would
on,
love
Dave.
to hear that you did. That would be amazing.
No. Let's see this.
And you're going to try to give back to the temple as much as possible, right?
We'll see. Yeah.
Is it color? Is there any
A
color?
little bit. Yeah, it's a
getting
little,
away from
it's a
you,
little
right?
brown. Yeah. This spatula's a little
It's not
tough.
what you expected?
No.
Cool.
I use an angled one. Yeah, a little brown.
Look out.
You gonna flip it? Hey!
Ah, one of them made it. Can you
Let's-
get the other one on your own?
Nope. Ah, ouch.
Look at you! Turn this down a little bit.
Yeah.
See how the beautiful color there? Like you want some nice color on that. You don't want it to be totally bland. But we also want to make sure that it cooks all the way through. So that's why I then just now turned it down a little bit so that as this next batch of color comes on, it's not going to be as quick, so the inside will fully cook. You like playing with your food, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Like, what's going to happen if you touch it?
I don't know, it gives me something to do while I watch it cook.
Do you watch your food cook a lot?
I don't let it go.
Well, okay, that's probably a smart move. Probably a smart move. You should always watch your food. Even I learned stuff here on Neighbor
Yeah.
Dave. Did you like my twist? Do you think you can do it?
No.
Okay.
I mean, if the French toast wants to be everywhere.
So what else happened in France? You're in France?
Yeah, so I spent 2 weeks in Bordeaux.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I have a friend who works at it for a French comic book publisher that translates English comic books to French. So I stayed with him. He lives in Bordeaux, and hung out with his friends. Watched a lot of soccer.
They do that a lot.
Yeah, I watched a lot. Interesting enough, like one of their favorite video games is Super Mario Strikers.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like, okay, so it's like an old GameCube game, but like we play like Super Smash Bros. Here. But they play a lot of soccer
you
games.
Keep trying to explain it to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I play video games.
Yeah, but it's basically like Mario Soccer. And it's like they like that game a lot better than.
Did it exist here?
Yeah, it just wasn't as popular.
Nobody cared about it here, huh?
Yeah, it wasn't as.
We're not as big soccer fans as we wish we were.
Yeah, and then I spent a couple days up in Brittany with my friend's parents, living in their village for a little bit. Went to some chateaus up there. That was really cool to see.
What makes it a chateau?
It's just,
I don't know, just a house.
Well, chateau is the word for castle. So.
Wow, so it's a big house?
Yeah, it's like a French castle.
Does everyone have chateaus?
No, not everyone. Just the
fancy French
just
people?
the fancy French people. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. I actually had the best food up there because his mom is a really good cook.
What did she make?
Well, she made these crepes, which so she put ham, but it was like fresh ham from like not the bakery,
The
butcher, and some cheese. I forget what cheese.
They pretty much shop every day.
Yeah,
right?
every day they go every
so
day. Yeah, and what was interesting is every day at lunch, everyone came home from work to have lunch together. So like.
We need to start doing that.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Yeah, so. Like,
totally down for
yeah,
that.
when
do they get done at the end of the day, though?
Normal time, 5 o'clock.
Hold up. So how many hours they work in a day?
Like 7. They come home for lunch and then they go back to work.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do that, though. I live an hour away, so it'd be 2.5 hours out of my day, 3 hours out of my day.
Yeah. Well, oh, you got it.
You seem to be having trouble, so.
Well, I just was talking. I was enjoying myself. I'm enjoying myself. Yeah.
You got ham?
Ham. I forget what cheese. But it was so good.
Gruyere, maybe? I don't know.
I don't remember what cheese.
A lot of cheese there, right?
So much cheese. A lot of it was way too strong, though, for me.
As an American?
Yeah.
You're
Only 1/16. Yeah. It was like 15, 16's too strong.
Right.
Yeah.
If you'd be able to eat it so much better if you were more French.
Yeah.
Did they make fun of you for saying you're 1/16 French, or did you totally not tell them that?
Well, I didn't know at the time when I went. So it was just a part of like me learning and me spending so much time.
I actually took French in high school.
This is looking.
Because I thought I'm going to be a chef. I should learn French rather than learning Spanish. And everybody else took Spanish. I don't know why. It seemed like the easy.
That's why I did it.
And I was like, I'm going to take French. This would be awesome. So the first year I took it, I had this awesome teacher that taught me nothing. No offense, but she taught me nothing. We had open book tests. We took a field trip to a French restaurant so we could read the menu. Like, it was the greatest class ever. Unfortunately, I went on to my second year of French and literally failed out of it. I remember, like, I thought I studied so hard for this test, and it was like the last straw. Like, if I could pass this test, I could stay in it type of thing. This was like a semester in or whatever it was. It ended up being my highest test score I've ever had in French. And I thought for sure I aced it. I knew everything, right? I think I ended up with a 48, which obviously is failing. But it was the greatest fail that I ever had that year. That's when I gave up trying to learn French.
I never gave up. Just kept going to school. Actually, when I left high school, I thought I wanted to be a French teacher. Didn't work out that way.
We're good with the bread now. We're going to go ahead and turn this off, and we're going to make some whipped cream.
Oh, whipped cream.
Because I'm guessing you want to have some whipped cream on this. Is it?
Oh. All right. You want to get this out of the soup?
It doesn't matter. So I saved some sugar.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
We're not going to make a lot because you'll be here all freaking day. Start whipping.
I'm going to use this.
Just a little bit of sugar and a little bit of cream, heavy cream. And if you don't have a machine, you can still make whipped cream. I'm going to show you something real quick. Instead of doing, this is like a lot of people do this kind of motion. Get the biggest bowl possible and kind of go back and forth with it. Use a big bowl because it'll spread it out more. So you can whip it easier. But you'll see bubbles already forming. If you start doing that, you'll see that wrist action. so stiff with the whisk.
I told you, I know, I don't usually use a whisk.
I promise you. I promise you it'll come together.
I'm also not Baker Gary, you know, so.
You could be.
I could, well, I don't think it's in the cards.
Marketing's it for you, right?
That, yeah. I
Love it.
also like technology and IT too, so we'll see. But I'm a big fan of marketing and just helping people.
I'm just giving you some of my parental advice as a father of a child.
Not my father.
Not your father. Even though I'm wearing the hat,
Yeah.
I'm your father. I'm not your father. But I will tell you to always keep your options open. I'm telling you, there are going to be opportunities out there that you have no idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There may come a day when you're all of a sudden working, doing a marketing type stuff for a video game company, and it might be the best of all the worlds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never really, it's like you seem to have your future totally planned out.
It's like
I can assure you that it's not going to happen. No offense.
Oh yeah.
All the things that are important will in fact happen, but whatever you think
coming
is
together.
happening is not going to happen. Now, for this, I'm going to be honest. For French toast, I don't think it has to be as stiff as, say, if you're decorating a cake, obviously. It's okay to me if it's a little bit less stiff. It's not quite there yet.
Okay.
If you want, at this point, you could add a little orange zest to this, a little vanilla if you wanted.
But you used it all.
I know, somebody was a little heavy.
I told you to use a little bit. Save it for later.
No, you didn't even know.
I didn't know, but I said well, maybe. Who knows?
You can see it's thickening up here a little bit. It looks a lot thicker than it did a minute ago. It is possible to do it by hand. You do not have to have a machine to do everything. Someday all the power is going to go out and someone's going to want French toast.
I mean, that's what you go to the store.
That's what you go to the store for when the power is going to go out.
Milk, bread, and eggs.
And you'll be like, man, I really wish I could make some whipped cream to go on that French toast, but
they didn't pick up sugar.
They
didn't pick up sugar, so they're out.
Why wouldn't they pick up sugar?
Because it's just milk, bread, and eggs.
That's true. So,
Okay.
nice. It's not
nice,
as
good-
thick as it needs to be
good,
for decorating a cake, like I said, but for what we're doing here, I kind of like it to be a little bit loose because it gives it more of that. Now, I don't know if you can see this.
Oh yeah.
You see how there's a little bit of juice starting to come off now? Like the best thing would be to have this go an hour, hour and a half, to be honest. We didn't really have that much time today. But you can see the juice is pulling out of it. You see this, how it's red here? That's the juice coming from the strawberries. So you're still going to get the idea in the flavor as we're eating it right now. It'll create more juice as we keep going. You do like berries, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. It's amazing how in 2018 you can get berries like this all year round. Like they actually look good. When I was growing up, that was not, you couldn't just get berries.
I should let you ice it because you're the maker.
It's not a cake. I'm not icing it. You did. That's perfect. You did a dollop. That's the professional term, a dollop.
A dollop. There you go. Would you like more than a single dollop?
I think you want 3 since you're Gary Kiebach III.
There you go. $1 for my grandfather.
See?
There you go. There's 3 of them. Well, that's a half dollop.
You're the youngest, so you probably don't need a full dollop.
There you go.
I'll set that aside.
Okay.
Just move it over there. To the French
Pour les Français.
and their old bread. Good, right?
Pretty tasty.
You don't need all that syrup.
You don't. Very good.
The sugar's a little crunchy now because it hasn't set as long as it needs to. Once it sets a little longer, you won't have the crunchiness at all. It'll just be like that beautiful syrup running over everything. It's a beautiful thing. The little bit of the whipped cream,
the whipped
the
cream's
fat
really good.
breaks through it a little bit. You don't need to add extra. We didn't add it. You notice I didn't add butter to it later. You can put butter on it later.
Yeah.
There's no reason to. You can kind of taste that orange zest a little bit in there. It's good stuff,
A little
right?
bit.
1/16 of it.
You put just enough.
Exactly. Thanks, man. I really
Yeah.
appreciate you coming out.
No problem. No problem at all. Had a great time and some great food.
I'd like to give a special thanks to Gary Kiebach III for bringing us this delicious French toast. Join us again next time on Baker Dave Presents, and remember, every recipe has a story.